This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
Let's go. It is the Pregame Show. I am your host, Joe Spadoni. And for the next hour, we will be taking a deep dive into all things sports, maybe some pop culture, and no politics. Whatever we want to talk about. Because you know what? It's my show. I get an hour of it. I'm going to do what I want to do. And what I do want to do is talk to all of you at 888-957-9570. That's the number to get involved. I want to hear from all my peeps that were at the Warriors preseason summit yesterday at Fieldwork Brewing Co. in San Leandro. Awesome time, awesome layout. Shout out to Fieldwork Brewing Co. Awesome food, beer, everything. We had prizes to give away. I got to meet some of the pre-gamers, roasters, all of you. And it was very heartwarming. Low-key got a little emotional with all the people coming up saying hi to me. That was awesome. Did not expect that. Really, really fun. Really good time seeing all of you there. So hit us up if you had a good time. 888-957-9570. Also hit us up on the Twitch and YouTube chat powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Search 95.7 The Game. Like, subscribe, ring that bell. Like every single stream, every single video, because we got a lot up there on YouTube. Yesterday was a banner day, as Bonte likes to say, for 95.7 The Game. And it started with Joey Lightyears himself in studio with Bonte and Shasky yesterday, 8:30. Tremendous, tremendous interview. The full hour. Find it on YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game. Like, subscribe. The entire thing's there. Download that Odyssey app. You'll find it there as well. Joey Lightyears had a lot to say, and we're going to react to it. As the Golden State Warriors, and I see you, MDK1, Ernie Chavez. Nice meeting both of you yesterday. Ernie, man, he's been there since day one. I appreciate that guy. First guy that said hi to me, too. It had to be Ernie. Ernie's the GOAT. If we're doing the Mount Rushmore of P1s here, and you don't need to be a caller. See, Ernie doesn't call, but he chimes in, he chats, hits us up on social. I appreciate that. So nice meeting you, Ernie. Nicole, you weren't there. You're in Miami. You got to fly in for these things, Nicole, the Warriors preseason summit. Shout out Nicole Diaz. Also, in the running for Mount Rushmore P1s. On the pregame show anyway. She's probably on there. Pregame show, Mount Rushmore. She's one of the first ones to almost always comment here on the YouTube chat. But last night, it kind of ended the night for a day that was all about the Warriors here at 95.7 The Game. Steph, come on.
Steph's got it. 8 seconds. The three to win the game. Got it! He hits it with 5.5.
Bobby Fitz on the call there. Bob Fitzgerald, NBC Sports Bay Area. Stephen Curry, ridiculous. That was my gym room. Ridiculous. Unbelievable. Have a take, don't suck. But Stephen Curry, 10 of 18, 8 of 12 from beyond the arc, 30 points. Ho-hum. Whatever. Is what it is. And by the way, be remiss to say, you are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. So there you go. We're legal. Sorry about that. I need to build these in. They're usually automatic. Deep behind radio. You have to have a legal ID. That's why we read it. Sometimes we have built them in before the hour so we don't have to read it on air. But that's my fault. Hashtag new studio. Something we're working on. But Stephen Curry, my goodness. Ending the night with the bang over the Kangs. Warriors, 4-0 preseason. Ho, ho, ho. They look good. I'm not going to lie. It's preseason, but they look pretty freaking good. And we're going to hear a lot from Joe Lacob today and what he talked about yesterday with Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. And the major theme that I got away yesterday listening to it and talking to Joe is he's not satisfied. You know, a lot of owners maybe would be. All the success they've had, new stadium, just the fan base, the revenue. They're one of the most profitable teams in the whole entire world, let alone the country. I mean, Joey Lightyear's business is booming, right? Yeah, he still has his eyes on the next ring, though. The next thing. And that's how the great stay ahead of the good. They're always looking forward. Why do you think Tom Brady won all those rings? 7 of them. Those Lombardis. Because the next day after the Super Bowl, and maybe after a couple weeks, after that one in Tampa and that celebration. Super Bowl parade Tom, undefeated, by the way. Tampa, anyways. It was definitely a mood. But he's always looking for the next one. Jordan, hey, nice to celebrate. I'm looking for the next one. Kobe, I'm trying to chase Jordan. Duncan, I don't even know what Duncan thought. The guy never talked. But you get what I'm saying. Joe Lacob is an owner. He's wired that way too. He just wants to win no matter what. Shout out T-Pain. And that's the major theme you're going to get away from a lot of these cuts from Joey Lightyears. Wanting to win badly. Wanting Steph to have one more than LeBron badly. Thinking CP3 is going to work. It's going to fit. Thinking he's right there. He desperately wants to win another one, and that's all I can ask of my owner. Providing the resources, the time, and the effort to try to get this team to win a championship. That's all I'm asking for as a fan, right? That's all we are asking for is them to give a rip. Again, we were talking about owners yesterday. There's a guy that doesn't across the bay, and John Fisher. And to see what Joe Lacob puts his blood, sweat, and tears into this place, getting the 4 rings, good. I hope they compete for another one because I like to see guys and owners like Joe Lacob reward his fan base with wins, with rings. It's great. It's great for everyone. That's what a team needs, is a leader and an owner. By the way, another former owner here in the Bay Area got another chip last night. Speaking of Tom Brady, also an owner. Congratulations, Las Vegas Aces. Back-to-back WNBA champions for the first time since what, the 01-02 Los Angeles Spark, something like that? Man. Mark Davis, it's a championship owner right there. 2-time. Tom Brady, that's just another ring. Yeah. Oh, hum. But let's start from the beginning with Mr. Lacob. And 888-957-9570. Any of your takeaways from yesterday, from last night's game, Stephen Curry, it is what it is. He's that dude. Juju on the chat. I fell asleep. We were losing. I wake up. We won the game. Hey. It is what it is. Drop a 40 burger in the fourth quarter. That's going to happen. Kings are still the Kings. That's going to be a mental hurdle for them getting past the Warriors because they had so many opportunities to put them away in that first round series, and they just couldn't do it. Harrison Barnes, it feels like he's going to be reliving that shot over and over and over again. Tough. Incredibly tough. Chris Paul, hey, came off the bench. No harm, no foul. He wanted, Looney sick. He wanted to, see what was going on there with it coming off the bench, different looks, stuff like that. 4 of 6. Perfect from beyond the arc. 9 assists. 6 boards. Hey. 13 points. I'll take that. I'll absolutely take that every single day of the week. Mr. Lacob, what's your mindset on making a big trade like you did for Chris Paul?
We talk to Steph, certainly.
Yeah.
We have some conversations sometimes with players. But, players aren't always the best people to judge these things, in all honesty. And we have to rely on Bob Myers and now, of course, Mike and our group to assess these things properly and to figure out how it might work. And they've done a good job over the years.
Yeah.
So it's a process. It's a bold move. Yeah. Well, we're not going to get anywhere by sitting still. We have to take chances. We have to do things like this. And I think this is a great move. I'm extremely excited about this team.
That's the message I got away from yesterday. He is excited about this team, but he's an owner. Hey, they all got to be excited, but I truly think he feels like he has a championship team this year. Getting rid of Jordan Poole, and we'll get into that with Lacob a little later on. Bringing in Chris Paul, you heard it there. I think it's going to be a net positive. I do. The Chris Paul acquisition. Now, Is that going to be the guy that puts you over the top? I don't think so. He's got to stay healthy first and foremost in the playoffs. This is an older team. It's going to be predicated largely on how healthy they are. You can say that with every single team, but specifically this one, team like the Lakers, Clippers, they're old. They need to stay healthy because that team out in Denver, still relatively young, and they got size, and they got athleticism. And they got that guy, the Joker, who is a baller. Should have been 3-time MVP, but he'll take the finals one. More from Joe Lacob talking about Steve Kerr loving this year's roster. Take a listen.
I think this is a great move. I'm extremely excited about this team. And I know Steve, I can tell you as a coach, he's through the roof on it. He really likes this roster. I think we've got a very interesting roster. Admittedly, we have to stay healthy. We all get that.
Right. Of course.
We're getting a little older, no question. But if we do, and I think we can manage that, I think we have a chance to be a really good team.
Man, time makes you bolder, right? Children get older. I'm getting older too. Is that Stevie Nicks? Let's go. Test me. My Fleetwood Mac knowledge, Sam. Come on. Let's go. Saw them, 2016, 15? Out in San Jose, which I believe is where Stevie Nicks is from. Not sure about Lindsey Buckingham. Great show, though. It's tremendous. They were all there. I know some members have passed since and broken up. I don't think Lindsey Buckingham's anymore, but Fleetwood Mac, tremendous show. And yes, I am not 60 years old. I am 30, but you know what? I like all kinds of music, all right? I've seen Snoop. I've seen Drake. I've seen The Killers. I've seen them all. Let's go. Taylor Swift? No. Beyonce? No. Not getting involved in that. From the pregame show, Nicole Diaz, what a freaking game. From the Comcast Business Text line, 209. I just tuned in right now. I wanted to know if you got a good firm handshake yesterday, Joe. Said he listens all the time. Did he? Come on. Correct. That's from Dylan. Better handshake. So for those of you who don't know and just joining me, last year when Mr. Lacob, Joe, I can call him that because we're tight now. From one Joe to another. Joey Lightyears times two, one might say. But last year when he was in studio, he gave me a very limp handshake. It was, if you're on the YouTube chat, you're seeing it now. He gave me like a dead fit. I don't know what it was. I likened it to a zombie from Raccoon City yesterday. Shout out Resident Evil. It's what it felt like. Yesterday, still soft, not limp. Soft, it's okay. It's okay. And I think he did that to Sam. I think he did that with everyone. So you know what? If that's just his thing, so be it. Better yesterday. Didn't feel as dismissive as it was last year. And I don't even know if he was trying to be dismissive. It just felt like, yesterday, it was better. I appreciated it. Thank you for asking, Dylan. 408 from the Comcast Business Text line. This is interesting. The atmosphere was electric last night at Chase. Felt like a mean something game. That's E from the 408. Interesting. How are we feeling about preseason games? It matter? Because it felt like in the building last night, anyways, watching it, looking at the highlights, hearing obviously from the 408 there, from E, it mattered. And if you go back to the Warriors championship run a few years ago, it did look like, things kind of shifted a little bit. They had those down years, the play-in game. Clay's back, not quite yet in those preseasons. He was coming back later that year, but, the vibes were better. And you started seeing some things clicking. And then they come out to the great start. They obviously, don't look back. They won the title. And Steph gets number 4. But you saw it early on in the preseason then that, hey, maybe this thing can work. Hey, they're 4-0 right now. Maybe it could work here too. 888-957-9570. I did have a cut here, Lacob talking about the preseason, but I wanted to talk about some of the other guys that got to play last night, that being Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody. Moody, 7 minutes, got a bucket. Kuminga in the starting lineup, shot 50%, 18 points, 6 boards, 3 offensive. That was good to see. The offensive attacking of the glass, because this is a small lineup. It's small. I mean, just look at the discrepancy when it comes to the reboundings. But actually, even without Kevon Looney, the Warriors surprisingly out-rebounded them. Surprisingly. Sabonis. Wait, 10? What you doing? God, Sabonis. What does Steiny call him? Hollow Man? The hollow numbers? Gets me every time. Shout out Kevin Bacon. It's a good movie. Freaked me out when I was a kid. It's the one where he turns invisible, right? But here's Mr. Lacob, Joey, talking about Moody and Kuminga making a jump this season.
Year 3 tends to be a big year for players. They make jumps. And I think the first 3 preseason games have looked pretty good for particularly Jonathan and Moses. They're playing really well.
Yeah.
And, I kind of expected that, to be honest with you. I think Steve expected that. And we got to see how everybody meshes, obviously. But I'm very positive about those guys. And I think they're going to have big years.
He's very positive about them. That's the thing. It killed and it pained Joe to get rid of Jordan Poole. He didn't want to have to move off of him. He helped contribute to a championship run. Joe is all about mixing the youth with the age. Talked about it yesterday. Hey, a team that's just a bunch of 30-year-old guys has never won a title. Conversely, a team that is a bunch of 20-year-olds, early 20s, have never won a title. You have to have a balance. Shout out Thanos. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. And Joey Lightyear's got the 4 Infinity Stones right now. He's got the gauntlet. He wants the 5th. Hell, he wants the 6th. He wants to be able to snap his fingers and say, I am in the conversation as one of the greatest owners in the history of the NBA. Jerry Buss, I'm coming for you. Now, that's a little lofty. The Lakers have 17 chips. It's a lot to get to. But if any man, can try to get there, and that I believe in, maybe age just won't be on his side at this point, it's Joe Lacob. Guy's got charisma. I'll say that. We were talking yesterday off air, and he was like, yeah, I just had my physical, and it's just, what can I say? I'm a cyborg. It's like, oh my God. Now, I don't know if he was kidding or not. He was just, the confidence, it was oozing. But hey, when you got that B in the title, the billionaires do, maybe you feel like a cyborg at times and you're invincible. I don't know, but Lacob, love the guy. I do. I know he's not the most beloved at times from the fan base. I think most of them, like 95% do, but the haters always are going to try to be the loudest. But how can you not love that guy? Right? Here's Lacob talking about getting his guy, Stephen Curry, a 5th ring.
We got a window here. We've got to try to win another title. And I really badly want to see Steph and our guys, Clay and Draymond, get another one. LeBron's got 4.
Yep.
They got 4.
Yep.
Let's get 5. Let's see him to 5.
Right.
Thank you.
Bobtail Joe Shasky there again. Joe Lacob joining the boys yesterday in the studio for an hour. Find that entire interview on the Odyssey app. Download it. Favorite 95.7 The Game. Also go on YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game. Like and subscribe there. It's all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. And I do think, and I've been on this, because it's a conversation we've had in the past. Stephen Curry winning his 5th ring, I think, trumps another Niners Super Bowl. I think it trumps a Giants World Series. It trumps a Stanley Cup. I know they've never won one. Sorry, Sharks fans, maybe that's sacrilege. Stephen Curry is the most beloved and is going to go down as the greatest Bay Area athlete of all time. He is, if he's not already there. I know that includes Jerry Rice. I know that includes Joe Montana. I know that includes Barry Bonds, Ricky Henderson, Reggie Jackson. I know it includes all those guys. Stephen Curry's going to go down as the greatest athlete in the history of the Bay Area. No, I'm not counting Tom Brady, the guys that were born here and played somewhere else. Had to have played here for one of the major teams in this market. And Steph winning his 5th and getting one more than LeBron, I'm not saying it puts him over LeBron, but it puts him in the exact conversation with him and with Jordan and with Kareem and with Wilt. It puts him right there with Magic. I know they were having that little back and forth. They were talking off. Magic's taking himself. Steph's taking himself. That's how they're wired. That's how the great ones are wired. But Steph winning a fifth, that fifth means top 5, solidified. It pains me to say it. It pains me to say it. Because you all know who my favorite player of all time is, why I'm a fan of the purple and gold. It's just, we're talking sports here, nothing personal. But Kobe Bryant, I grew up, he's my favorite player. If Steph wins number 5, I do think, you can have the conversation. Because they would be tied with rings. Same with Duncan. You got to look at the MVPs, the impact. Now, it's barbershop kind of a talk because you go to the defensive side of the ball and Kobe was otherworldly, all defense a bajillion times. Same with Duncan. They got that other side of the ball as well as that offensive game. But counter that with Stephen Curry revolutionized the game of basketball with his three-point shot. Greatest shooter of all time. One of the deadliest in the history of the game. Just cold-blooded, a baby-faced assassin. That's what he is. And number 5, I think, would mean more than any other championship. What say you? 888-957-9570. Are you taking a 5th ring for Stephen Curry over a 49ers Super Bowl, over another Giants World Series trophy, over a Sharks Stanley Cup? A's, I know. It pains me. Maybe they have a miracle run left in if they play one more season in Oakland. But you get what I'm saying. It's Steph, and then it's everyone else. I love Brock Purdy. Love Christian McCaffrey. I love Logan Webb. Camilo Duval, right? Okay, those are the 2. All right. Love those guys. Steph is just on such another level in comparison to them. Because they're all so young in their careers, too. It's not fair comparison. But Stephen Curry is the Golden State Warriors. And Joe Lacob realizes that. Let me play this one more time. You can hear it in his voice. And Bonte and Shasta getting pumped up with him.
We got a window here. We've got to try to win another title. And I really badly want to see Steph and our guys, Clay and Draymond, get another one. LeBron's got 4.
Yep.
They got 4.
Yep.
Let's get 5. Let's see him to 5.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe Shasky. Joe Shasky, Bonte Hill. We'll be on in about, 38 minutes. Morning roast. Lock in. But would Stephen Curry winning a 5th mean more than everything else? 888-957-9570. I want to hear from you. What say you on the YouTube chat powered by First NorCal Credit Union? Oh, MDK1. I got a handshake yesterday from a certain 95.7 The Game host, and it's pretty dang limp. You can say it on the chat, MDK1. I won't say it. I will not say it on air, but you can say it in the chat because this chat obviously turns into another stream going forward. I'm on a separate one. Although maybe I'm not on a separate one. Not sure. Nicole Diaz, it felt like the vibes were back yesterday. Limp handshakes aren't going to win a championship. Everyone. 925 from the Comcast Business Text line. Sports are different than business for mixing ages. Yes, they are. It is a business at the end of the day, though. Joe Lacob is running a business. But any successful business, I think, incorporates young and old, right? You're constantly trying to revamp, retool, get fresh ideas, while also coupling, the seasoned veterans of a company. That's how it works. Just look at 95.7 The Game. Want to use that as an example? I am 30 years old. You got Bonte and Shasky, 40. Sorry, guys, I'm just throwing everyone's ages out there. You got Steiny, Dibbs, Willard. Willard's about to be in his 50s. Steiny, Dibbs, 50. Got generations here. That's what happens. You try to mix things with that, and I'm not comparing myself to those guys. Just comparing the ages of a company. All the producers. Late 20s, early 30s. That's what companies do. You have to have a balance. And I do believe that the Warriors this season are balanced a lot better than they were last season. Now, are the old guys a little too old? That remains to be seen. Can they stay healthy? We're going to find out. But I do think at the end of the day, the Chris Paul trade is going to be a net positive. I saw it last night. Here's Lacob talking about the size aspect, and I still believe this team is at times going to be pretty freaking small. And in the West, it's going to give me, and I was listening to Brian Geltzeiler of Sirius XM NBA Radio, does a great job covering the league. And he was on with Steiny and Goo yesterday, and he was talking about, he's like, the Lakers give them problems. It's just not a good matchup because of Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Brian thought they could match up well against, the Clippers and the Suns and get away with it. But the Lakers and Nuggets specifically might be given a size problem to the Golden State Warriors that I don't know if they can get over it. I mean, we saw it in the series last year. And I know Clay was awful. I know Jordan Poole was awful. But Anthony Davis, he was a monster. LeBron didn't even play well. And they won that series in 6. So that's going to be another thing to watch this season is the size. And it's always been a problem. But, and again, I was listening to Bonte at the Summit yesterday, and he made a great point. This illusion that the Warriors were small during the KD years is a myth. KD's 6'11". He's got a 7'6" wingspan. Iguodala 7'1" wingspan. Like, they had Livingston. They were long. Draymond obviously plays bigger than his size. Clay, the athleticism, big guy. It was only really Steph that was the small one out there, and he's improved his defense since then. I mean, he's average at best still, but it's an improvement because he was pretty damn awful early on in his career. But here's Lacob yesterday talking about the Warriors getting bigger this year.
Everyone says we're small. We're actually, I think we should look at this, but I think we're bigger than we were last year. We got to be a little bit bigger.
Right. Yeah,
well, Sarge is 6'10".
Yeah.
And Trace is 6'10".
Yeah.
And he's athletic, by the way. So, I mean, I think we're bigger than we were last year. Are we one of the bigger NBA teams? Probably not. But though when you look at size of an NBA team, I do think you need to look at the whole court. And one of the things Clay has always been is a big guard. There aren't many guards the size of Clay, right? Andrew Wiggins is a prototypical size 3. So I don't think we're really all that small. Draymond is the one position you say he's clearly undersized for the position he plays. And Looney is, I don't know if he's undersized. He's actually 7'4" wingspan. Wingspan's more important than height.
I love Looney.
Because you got to look at the necks on this guy sometimes. So and he's, guy gets 20 rebounds a game in playoff games. So I don't think you can sit here and say he's too small.
Got to take a quick break. Come on back. More Lacob reaction. More of your reaction. 888-957-9570. What does Stephen Curry 5th championship ring mean more than any other Bay Area championship? That includes the Niners winning another Super Bowl, Giants World Series, Stanley Cup. What say you? Steph winning a 5th mean more than all those? 888-957-9570. It's the pregame show. Joe Spadoni. Come on back. 95.7 The Game.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your...
expectations. Go to sfhistory.org and discover the San Francisco Historical Society, giving our history a great future. Become a member today.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. Pre-game show, Joe Spadoni. 95.7 The Game. Ooh, a little Dr. Dre, like that. We've been talking. Steph Curry, Joe Lacob, who was in studio yesterday. Just an awesome day yesterday, 95.7 The Game. Warriors preseason summit at Fieldwork Brewing Co. in San Leandro. Shout out to everyone I met there. Dublin Marge. I met Dublin Marge. You kidding me? She's very sweet. If you're listening, Dublin Marge, very nice to talk to you. You're very sweet. And shout out to Ernie, MDK1. Forgetting Xavier W. Met Zave yesterday, just chilling. Everyone just having their brewskis, having a good time. It was hot yesterday. It wasn't too hot. I was wearing a long sleeve and jeans, so that was probably not the best. I just didn't want to change. You know? Didn't want to. Dad now, it's a lot of work. It's just a lot of work. That's peak dad, by the way. When you said just changing your clothes is too much work, then it's just, I don't know what to do. I'm big into the flip-flops now. I am. You become a father and you just go outside and whatever. You're wearing your tank top and you're wearing your shorts and your flip-flops. And that's, hey, honey, this is the best you're going to get today, all right? Ironically, I am wearing shorts and flip-flops today, but just because it's so damn hot. It's just comfortable. Not the best, though, when you're walking like 10, 15 minutes with the flip-flops. But you know what? I'm like Frodo in Samwise. I can walk, baby. Got the feet. Let's go. I don't know where I was going with that. Nicole, next year I'm going to take the flight for the summit. Hey, you do that, Nicole. Let's go. Nicole Diaz. Actually, we should find a Nicole because I would love to go to Miami. That sounds tremendous. Nicole Diaz, one of the P1s, Mount Rushmore of the pregame show. We were talking before last break, I should say, Joe Lacob, and this was the cut, and I think it's going to be played tremendous amount of times today. Joe Lacob on what it would mean getting Steph a fifth ring. Take a listen. Yesterday, Morning Roast, Bonte and Jaski.
We got a window here. We've got to try to win another title, and I really badly want to see Steph and our guys, Clay and Draymond, get another one. LeBron's got 4.
Yep.
They got 4.
Yep.
Let's get 5. Let's see him to 5.
Right.
Thank you.
Would Stephen Curry winning a fifth ring mean more than any other Bay Area championship? So you're taking either the Niners, Giants, Stanley Cup for the Sharks, or you taking Steph's fifth ring? Well, only one of those can come next. Which one are you taking? 888-957-9570. Taking Steph, you're taking the field of Bay Area teams. What say you? 209. I actually want to see Warriors win after Steph at this point to see if a good organization, not just Steph. I don't want to go back to the old Warriors. And that's going to be the major question, Dylan. That's a good point. Because what separates certain organizations from great to iconic is the ability to consistently attract star players, no matter what. I look at the Lakers, I look at the Miami Heat, and I look at the Boston Celtics. They attract stars consistently. So will Joe Lacob turn this organization into one of those iconic franchises? And you could already say, well, the Warriors are already more iconic than the Heat. They got more titles already. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the ability to attract free agents post-Steph Curry era will be a major factor for the squad. The ability to land that next big thing. That's my one thing. Is that Joe Lacob's one thing? But will he also, and I go back to the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. After Michael, you had Derrick Rose for 2 seconds and nothing. That's the template of what not to do post Stephen Curry, is whatever's going on in Chicago. It ain't working. It hasn't worked. And it's unfortunate because it felt like Derrick Rose was, won the MVP. He's making this huge ascension. He was a baller. God, he was good. That's one of those, top, what if they didn't get hurt? Man, I wish Derrick Rose stayed healthy his entire career. He was special if you didn't get a chance to see him in his prime. I remember listening, I think it was on ESPN radio at the time, when the injury happened. I think I was picking up my brother or something. I was like, brutal. And the series was over because he was carrying them. But to your point, Dylan, on the Comcast Business text line, that's going to be a major test for Joe Lacob. And that's down the road. That's 5, 6, 7 years whenever Steph hangs them up. But it's going to be a major question mark. They didn't really get into that yesterday because they wanted to focus on the present. I understand that. You can worry about the future another time. We're worried about right now. And right now, the expectation is another title. Here's Lacob yesterday again with Bonte and Shasky talking about needing a championship badly.
I think he was surprised, shocked, if anything. And
right.
He's told the story several times about when it happened, and he was kind of stunned by it. But I think he was, it didn't take him long to sort of figure out that this is something, if he could help make work, makes a change. Look, he gets a chance to win a championship.
Yep.
And that's the one thing he hasn't done. Every team Chris Paul has ever been on, I think they average 10 games better when he's on.
Right.
So I expect to see something like that here this year as well. But he hasn't won a championship. And I think he knows that he has an opportunity here. Obviously he's getting older, dwindling years. There are opportunities to do that. He's got a chance to do that. And we need that one. We need that championship. We need it badly.
Need it badly. You heard the little fist pound right there. Hey, Joey Lightyear's getting pumped yesterday. It was funny. We took a picture at the end there, and I posted it on my social. You can find it at Spadoni_Joe. Follow me on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it. You can follow me on Insta as well if you want to just see, Family Joe at Broseph Spadoseph. But we were talking about, and I was lining up to take a picture with him. I was like, my brother's a big fan of yours. I almost want to get a picture. Not me, of course. I'm never a fanboy. And then I tell him, he's like, I'm actually a Laker fan, Joe. He just looked at me like, what the hell? And then he gave me a little playful shove. It was fun. It was very fun. Never forget that. He's got a good sense of humor. Hey, that's saying a lot for a billionaire. A good sense of humor, because that's not something that usually encompasses billionaires' senses of humor. They're cutthroat. They're odd. They're quirky. I'm not saying Joe isn't those things, because you have to be to get to that level, but you also have to be somewhat of a human. Like, I look at these Zuckerbergs, these Elon Musks, and they kind of ask him about Elon. He dodged it very well. He's like, I met him one time. I was like, it's like, Joe, that's cap. You've not met Elon Musk just one time. Come on. But there is something to be said about just trying to be normal and ingratiate yourself. And now, he's never going to be normal, because you can't be when you have that status to the fans and stuff like that. But I thought he came off as off-air, pretty normal guy to me. And you know what? That meant something to me, talking and chopping it up with Joey Lightyears. We're up against it. One more break. Is Stephen Curry's 5th ring going to mean more than any other Bay Area title? That would come next. 888-957-9570. That's what I want to know from you. This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni. One more segment. Come on back. 95.7 The Game.
Boom, 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 boom.
Nissan has a car for every driver who wants more. More action. More fun. More guts. More head turns. More adventure. More electric.
it running at peak efficiency all winter long. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. Talking shop with the boys in the back. Bonte Hill, Joe Shasky. They'll be on about 15 minutes or so. Not going to want to miss what they're going to talk about. A lot of Warriors because they had Joey Lightyears in the studio yesterday. We've been reacting to a lot of his cuts today. They'll do the same. Play off some of that. Conversation right now, Steph winning the 5th. I think it's going to mean the most. More than another Lombardi. More than another World Series trophy. More than a Stanley Cup. It's going to mean more than all those. Because Stephen Curry's the most beloved athlete here in the Bay. And he's going to go down as the most beloved athlete in the history of the Bay Area. And he's going to, I'm going to say it, greatest Bay Area athlete of all time. That's what he's going to go down as. You can have your Montanas, you can have your Jerry Rices, you can have your Ricky Hendersons, your Barry Bonds, Joe Thorntons if you want to throw him in there, Sharks, Reggie Jackson. I'm taking Stephen Curry over all of them. I am. Joe Lacob. This is what he wants.
We got a window here. We've got to try to win another title. And I really badly want to see Steph and our guys, Clay and Draymond, get another one. LeBron's got 4.
Yep.
They got 4.
Yep.
Let's get 5. Let's seed him to 5.
Right.
Thank you.
While I don't know if Steph winning a 5th and potentially going one more than LeBron would make him, higher in the power ranking. It's all, barbershop. It's sports talk radio. It's what it is. It's what we're going to talk about. A hierarchy. So-and-so is better than so-and-so. This is why, this is why, this is why. I will say it would piss LeBron off. And I think that's all you want if you're a Golden State Warriors fan. Knowing that LeBron James is seething that Stephen freaking Curry, that kid from Davidson that you went out and watched, with Russell Westbrook and co. back in college, finishes his career with more titles than you, more rings than you. It's got to be seething. It's got to be. If you call yourself the king, hey, you got to finish your era with the most rings. I mean, right? Especially if it's your self-imposed nicknames. God, I hate it. Self-imposed nicknames. What are we doing? It's stuck, I guess. More from Lacob, talking about something that's going to be, more and more discussed as the games go on. And, we're less than a week now from opening night at Chase Center when the Phoenix Suns come into town. And it's the fact that CP3 is going up against the Suns. You got Kevin Durant coming back. The ovation that he will get. Here is Lacob talking about Kevin Durant deserving a massive ovation from the fans.
I want to say this to all of our fans. It needs to be, it should be, and it will be a tremendous ovation for a guy that helped us win 2 world championships and should have been 3, right?
Totally.
If it wasn't for injury. So this guy, I have nothing but the highest regard for him. He was a fantastic person to be on our team at the time. For various reasons, he decided for him it was not, he had to leave, whatever. I can't comment on that. I don't know if I understand that. I wish he would have stayed. But the bottom line is I have nothing but the greatest respect. All of us should feel that way. And he should get a massive ovation.
JC on the YouTube chat. Sorry, Steph winning a 5th ring doesn't compare to a 9 or 6 Super Bowl. It's been 29 years since we've won 1 and lost 2 since. We just saw Steph win recently. I mean, I'd love to see it, though. I think Steph's 5th means more than a 6 for the 49ers. I do. Who's the player on the 49ers that is as beloved as Stephen Curry right now? Who? George Kittle? Come on. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? It's Stephen Curry than everyone else in the Bay. We all know this. It's not that difficult. Steph, everyone else. It's Steph, every single politician, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to think of another icon in the Bay Area. Someone give me someone. Stephen Curry's ahead of them. It's not even close. JC also thinks that Steph's already top 5. He's not. Not yet. He's got to get his 5th. It's disrespectful to the guys like Duncan, Magic, Kobe ahead of him. He's got to get his 5th. It means something. Ring still means something to these guys. As much as we don't want to say, and we will just take finals appearances, and LeBron going to 10 straight, it was awesome. You have got to win it all. Why is Jordan so revered? It was a lot of things. 6-0 in the finals. 6-0 in the finals. Now, we lost before that, but we don't remember those. Remember all the championships. 2 3-peats. God, that was so... I don't think a team's going to 3-peat anymore, by the way. Hell, back-to-back is difficult. I don't think anyone's 3-peating anymore. Warriors can even do it with all that. It's so damn hard. Last team to do it was the Kobe and Shaq Lakers. I don't think it's happening again. I don't. Back-to-back? Okay. Nuggets have a chance. 3-peating? No way. No way. Here's Lacob, and this one was interesting. I wanted to get to this. Talking about, and obviously a dominated offseason discussion, Jordan Poole, and how that trade went down, the financial aspect. Was that trade more for financial flexibility, competing for a championship? Was it both? Here's Lacob talking about having to move off Jordan Poole and bringing in CP3.
Well, first of all, winning is the most important thing. That's actually, there's no point in doing this if we're not going to win. Okay. So
that's why we
are trying to win. That's number one.
Yeah.
And whatever we can do to make team better, that's what we're going to do. Now, there are some constraints, obviously. Although I don't know, I seem to bust through those constraints often. It's because at the end of the day, we decide, hey, it's worth doing, and it's proven to work.
Exactly.
We've been to the final 6 times in 13 years, and we've won 4 championships. Should have won 6. And the truth is, we're going to do if we think we have a chance to win a championship, we're going to do it. Okay, but financially, this deal happens to make a lot of sense as well because we get some optionality at the end of the year. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Clay. We can talk about that, or with Chris. He's getting older and so on. But right now, as of right now, we have some optionality. We could decide at any point now, 2 weeks from now, somewhere in time during the season, we could decide what we're going to do with those guys. But that gives us optionality. And so that we didn't have that with Jordan, although I will admit it was hard to trade Jordan Poole. He's a hell of a player. Yep. He's a young player. I mean, it killed me to do that. But unfortunately, I don't like constraints. Nobody likes constraints. But we have constraints. And we had to figure out on a not only short term, but we have to take into account the intermediate and long term as well.
So financial flexibility is what I got most out of that. Hey, give them flexibility going forward. And yes, you sacrifice youth. You sacrifice a young player, dynamic player that may end up being, a sixth man type of a guy going forward. Sixth man of the year, I should say. And Jordan Poole, I don't think he's ever going to be a starter closing games. I don't. But I think you take that risk if you're Joe Lacob. You absolutely do. And it wasn't going to work. I mean, it just wasn't. And it's not Poole's fault. I mean, he's the guy that got punched in the face. But you know what? The guy that punched you is a made man. It is what it is at the end of the day. It's unfortunate. I was in Poole's corner. The dark cloud was not his doing. That Steve Kerr alluded to at the end of the year. The dark cloud that was over the organization, that was not Jordan Poole's fault. But they had to move on. I think they made the right move. And now they go forward with more financial flexibility. One and done potentially with Chris Paul. Then that opens up things. Are they going to re-sign Klay Thompson? What's going on there? And here's Lacob talking about said contract talks with Klay Thompson.
Well, I hope it's not a distraction. I mean, we're not in control of this. I mean, there's 2 sides to every negotiation. We want him back. He wants to be back. It's kind of like Draymond.
Right.
I think you guys, everyone needs to just chill a little bit. Let this take its course. My guess is it works out. Okay? I can't control it. I can't dictate it. You can't dictate it.
Right.
Fans can't dictate it. These things have to take their course. There's different parties involved. But the intentions are really good.
The Draymond situation was different because he had an opt-in and he could opt out if he chose to.
True.
But do you look back at how that went and learn any lesson from that? Was it good, bad, indifferent? Was it just business? Like, did that have any tangible effect on the season last year, you think? Oh,
it might have, but I think there were some issues last year with respect to some of the contracts. Some of the other guys got contracts I know you're referring to. Maybe it did. I don't think there's going to be anything like that this year, though. Yeah. I really don't. Clay's a professional. Respect him tremendously. And we're going to do our best to get this done. And, hopefully it is done sooner rather than later, but it might not be.
Joe Lacob there. And again, you can find the entire interview on YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game, like, subscribe. You can find it on the Odyssey app. Download that. Favorite 95.7 The Game. And again, YouTube and Twitch powered by First NorCal Credit Union. We're always streaming Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Locked and loaded, local, all day, right here, 95.7 The Game. We got Bonta Hill, Joe Shasky coming up in about minute 30. 888-957-9570. Start lining them up because they're going to be talking Steph. And, Steph, he's already just hitting winners. Doesn't matter if it's preseason.
Steph's got it. 8 seconds. The 3 to win the game. Got it! He hits it with 5.5.
Bobby Fitz on the call, NBC Sports Bay Area. The Golden State Warriors 116, the Kings 115. Kings are going to king, unfortunately. And are they a team that's going to take a step back this year? The West, very interesting. I got the Nuggets on their own tier. I got Lakers, Clippers, Warriors. If you want the Suns, some people think the Suns are tier. I'll still put the Suns in that same tier. And then I got another tier, your Dallases, right? I have to see with Memphis without Ja. I do. Maybe some people will lump Memphis into the Lakers, Clippers, Warriors tier, Suns. I got to see it. How does that absence of Ja, is he still going to be a knucklehead? Not sure yet. Too much of an X factor there for me. But it's the Nuggets, and it's still everyone else. And you got to come at the new king on the block, Nikola Jokic, who apparently is just, people are starting to hate it. They don't like the shtick anymore. What they call shtick, what a normal person watching Jokic would be like, that's just a normal person who just, looks like an introvert, wants to be at home with his horses out in Serbia. It's okay that he doesn't want to party all the time like everyone else, that he doesn't like, being away from his family. It's okay. It's all right. But you know what? When you start winning, the haters come out. And guys that have a lot of haters but are winners, that love to hate, it's all right. We love them. Bonta Hill, Joe Shasky, Morning Roast. Next, 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco.